Hello and welcome to the Portrait Guy podcast with me, Guy Lloyd. This is a podcast recorded in front of a live audience where myself and a very special guest chat whilst painting each other's portraits. About halfway through, we'll paint our own self-portraits, and at the end of the year, we'll auction those signed self-portraits to charity. In this episode, I chat to Spandau Ballet's Steve Norman. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
Nice to see you.
It's good to see you.
I was so pleased when you agreed to do the podcast because I was a massive Spandau fan, and I still am. I still love hearing Spandau Ballet, and it feels weird to, as a teenager, listen to your records and air guitar. I didn't air saxophone, air guitar, and I think I was probably Tony Hadley, sometimes Gary Kemp. But in my front room, just air guitar and just Spandau Ballet. So it feels like a real privilege to sit in front of you now,
thank you.
Years later, and get to talk to you.
Yeah.
We'll get into your career. Let's. There is an art format here, obviously, and you're a little bit nervous about the art.
I am very nervous about this.
You haven't done it for a while.
I said to you earlier on. No, I did do art at school.
And you were good.
And I was good to copying, and I was quite good at art, I will say, but music took over from that, of course. But I haven't done it since last time I did it was, worked it out today, 20. I'm now 65. So it's a very long time ago since I put pencil to paper. I hope you got a pencil in there.
Yeah.
I used to do pen and ink, but
would that be your?
You got that?
Would that be your chosen medium?
Sketching, with the fingers and rubbing in for the shading and whatever.
We've got an envelope here of different options, so it's random, but we could fix it for pencil, couldn't we? Just to please our guests. We'll see. Let's see what comes out.
The only thing that worries me is that from here, if I've got to draw you've got a big mic stand and a microphone in the way of your face. And as I must. How are we going to draw that? Do we have to put that in?
Just imagine my chin.
Imagine.
Just imagine my chin.
This is going to go down forever, Maybe I'll just put the mic in there. How's that? Yeah.
You do.
We can do a bit at the end where we move them out of the way.
You do. Well, we've got to keep the mics on because we're chatting at the same time. Yeah, I know,
but just for 1 minute, I'm sure.
You just want to see you want a free rein for my chin.
How did they do it? Because I don't see.
Well, you just imagine. I mean, look, you're actually moving quite a bit, so I can see your face at different times. Trust the process, Steve. You'll be fine.
I'm nervous, aren't I?
What is going to be difficult is to capture just how handsome we both are. That's going to be difficult, isn't it? You think? The crowd seem indifferent. Okay. Would you like to choose an art medium? Lucky dip. He's going to pick.
Out you're going to just give me what I get.
No. Well, you just keep picking until you're happy.
Like Tombola.
What does that say?
Is that what I want? Pencil.
Yay! See? You've got to trust the process, haven't you?
Right. Okay. Do they all say pencil?
They might do. We actually get one pencil.
You've got a whole selection.
Yeah. So you've got your HBs, your 2Bs, all the classic. I must admit, I prefer pencil. I hate it when we get paint because there's a lot of washing up involved afterwards, and I can't be bothered with that. So. He's looking through his different.
I'm looking for the. Okay.
You go for something quite.
I want
heavy.
Yeah, exactly. Heavy.
I
think that might be it. Looks good enough to me.
So art was your favourite subject at school?
I wanted to do music, but when you're 13, this is 73. They after 2 years of being at school and you're 13, they ask you what you want to be when you grow up. How do you know when you're 13? You're just about to go to school, really, to find out, And anyway, a year passed and I realised, you know what? I made a boo-boo here because I took technical drawing, because I was being pushed into the art side. And I'm very short-sighted. So I ended up that day at the back of the class. Couldn't see anything on the board, failed miserably. So technical drawing, and the guy next to me wouldn't let me copy. He was like that, I said, I don't want your work. I just want to see what's on the blackboard. Yeah. And anyway, I realised, and I went to the music teacher and I said, listen, I'm really sorry, but I've made a boo-boo. I should have picked music because I realised that's what I really want to do. And she said, no, you can't do it because you've made your choice. Okay, so I thought, sod that. Plan B was go to all my mates who were in that class, and they all gave me their homework and everything they'd done. And I went through everything. I did all the homework. I did everything that was required, got all my work up to speed and presented it. But, grunty as I say, as people can be, Jobsworths, at that attitude. No, it's too late. So I thought, sod it. I'll make my own way with music then. And it was only 4 years later that I formed Spandau Ballet. Literally.
Wow. That's pretty. So, how old were you when you met the rest of the band and started having those conversations?
In 1971, when we went to the school, in my class was Gary Kemp, and also one of our bass players, Richard Miller. Tony Hadley was in the same year. This is a grammar school for boys in Islington.
Okay.
And but I didn't know Tony. Even for years, I didn't know him until 4 years later. Are you doing it now already?
Yeah, I've started, yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah, you're getting to the flow.
Yeah, all right.
The most important thing is...
Make a very long question, the next one, all right? Let me get started.
The most important thing
I can't stand a blank canvas with its songs or whatever. So you put me off now.
The most important thing, Steve, is the conversation. The art.
I know. But how can I focus on that?
The art is secondary. It all comes to you.
How big are you going to put it? Like those? Right, okay.
Yeah, whatever you...
All right, let me just see what I'm going to do first.
Got great hair.
Get that first.
So what was the... Was the idea first, like, I'm going to get a band, or was the idea that you learnt an instrument and then you formed a band? So,
I wanted to be a drummer when I was very young. And I was kind of like, my mum looked after me and my sister who came 4 years later. She looked after me and my sister. My dad wasn't really around, so not for the early years of my life. And then I used to be sort of dumped off everywhere, sort of on my own, staying around people's houses and, just for a day on my own. So I always used to raid their music, their record collection. So I got into so many things, Brian Bennett from the drummer of The Shadows at the time. I thought they were great. I absorbed the whole albums, all the text. Norrie Paramore was the producer. And I just thought, drummer, that's what I want to be. And while I was around there, I'm on my own, so I would make my own drum kit. and I'd make it out of, I'd go into the bedrooms, there'd be a cardboard box with books in it, with her brothers, only young at the time. And I'd empty them out, turn the boxes upside down, use them as like a tom-tom and whatever, get a biscuit tin, and as it was, just a metal biscuit tin, and knives upside down. So I made myself this little drum kit. I'd have to do all this in reverse, by the way, and make sure that they didn't notice that I'd done it, But I played along to the Shadows songs and...
How old were you at this time?
I would have been about 7 or 8, I think.
Okay.
I've done that wrong now. I think I might have got your eyes. That's the most important thing.
I've done a terrible injustice to your left ear.
Yeah, so you can rub it out.
Apology, you calm about.
Oh, hang on. You got football eyes. One's that way, one's the other. One at home, one away. And so I wanted that, but it was very soon I realised, coming from a not very wealthy family, living in a council estate, no money, 4 floors up, drum kit weren't going to work. Even though a mate of mine had rich parents, and I went round his house, he had the latest Premier kit, and he was most peed that I could play it and he couldn't. And I used to jam along to like the Yes album and Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon, and early Pink Floyd stuff. Your nose is really wrong there. Oh no, here we go. And so I knew I had rhythm, but I thought I've got to find something else here. And of course the easiest one was really guitar. So I started playing guitar when I was 14, and then well, let me see. Well, see, I was focusing on your eyebrows. She's not
Don't worry
panning
about my
out
eyebrows.
too well because of this speaking thing. Have you got rubber, by the way? Why ain't this? I always make mistakes. There's always a rubber on the end of my pencil.
I don't think we have a rubber.
All right.
Art is like life. You have to make mistakes to learn.
Yeah.
That's the way we.
So, you know, I'm really sort of... I've explored different things. I realise I'm not happy with just one thing. I don't want to be just a guitarist, never wanted to be. From there in Spandau, you know, I sort of went off to do percussion, congas. I wanted to play congas, so I got the band to get me some congas. Before you knew it, it was chart number 1, and congas all over it. You know, I still play it this day live, and it was only a couple of years after that, in 82, end of 82. I remember because I was on a congas. Here's a little secret for you. I turned up for our sort of production rehearsals, which are normally in a theatre, and no one said anything to me. They never showed me the stage plan. And normally there's like Martin, Tony, and Gary somewhere, and me. At the front line, as we call it, you know, and all of a sudden I walked in and there was this set of congas at the back, and I wasn't happy about that. I thought, sod that, and I realised Gary had got this style where we always shared rhythm and lead together. Your turn is now to do the lead guitar because I played the last one. It was a gentleman's agreement. So I thought, I'm not going to go through that battle. And so I looked around for another instrument. It very nearly was a trumpet, because my mate Chris Sullivan, he had a trumpet, and I went round his house and I saw it, and I said, "Well, let's have a go." And I got a couple of notes out of it immediately, and he said, I've had it for like years. I've never got anything out of it. So I thought, well, I obviously can do that, but it's a bit limited trumpet, isn't it? What are you going to do with that? It's the, you know, it's but sax was emerging at the time, so I thought, oh, that's a good one. You know, I could do that.
When you say sax was
in the front again, which is what I did. You know?
So when you say sax was emerging, it was becoming more pop.
You can hear it on the chart, in the radio. That's it.
Starting to infiltrate sort of mainstream pop.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was.
It sounds like you sort of picked up an instrument, learned it quickly, and then would move on to the next one.
It's my skill with things like that, I've got to say, you know.
That's pretty amazing.
People always reminded me. It's even got like a child prodigy with music on my Wikipedia account.
I saw that.
I was horrified. Is it still there?
I saw it's still there.
I tried to get rid of it.
I've got it in my notes here.
It honestly embarrasses me. I can't read music or anything like that, and I never knew anything about it, but people would say that. And it's taken me now until I realise, well, you know, maybe it is a kind of gift.
Yeah.
I can see sounds even on this table. You know, I'll go to a jazz club in Copenhagen, and like there'll be a really good jazz band, and there's this guy with brushes and what looks like a big sort of a wheel of cheese. It's actually a wooden snare that's not too loud.
Okay.
And I just jump up. And I sit in there, and it really is no effort whatsoever because I've got the groove. It's all about the groove, if anything, for me. And there you go. There I go. You know what I mean?
Straight in.
I love it. I'm straight in there.
We were talking in the restaurant. Steve Steve wanted to go to his mate's gig at the Hope and Ruin a couple of weeks ago. And they were saying it's completely sold out. The only way you can get in is to bring your saxophone and be in the band. And he did. It's on his Instagram. He just gets up on stage. The moment comes, and he comes with it.
I had terrible sort of cold at the time, and I didn't feel too great, but I thought, shit, you know. So I had to focus a bit, but I'm a bit of a gig slut, but don't tell anyone, you know. I enjoy just like flying by the seat of your pants, you know what I mean? I did this with Head Candy when I was living in Ministry of Sound.
Yeah.
They had this label called Head Candy. And I...
Because you lived in Ibiza,
for a couple of years. I lived in
Yeah.
Ibiza for 12 years. Put
Yeah.
my kids up there.
Yeah.
I should have done that first. I really need to focus on this in a minute because it's very important. So is this, and I can't remember what I was talking about. So, yeah, I mean, I just wanted to play. And
you were talking about Head Candy.
Head Candy. And I mean, at the end of the beginning of the 90s, Spandau had imploded. I was having a mini breakdown and mini nervous breakdown. And so I just needed to do something really different. And I was disappearing into myself, like beanie hats and beards and all that stuff. And then met my partner, my first wife, Menchu. And we had a son, and then 93 moved to Ibiza, stayed there for 2 years. My daughter was born there. Spanish is very big in my family, as German is now with my current partner. And then couldn't touch the sax for at least 2 years. I put it in a cupboard, didn't go anywhere near it.
Post-Spandau,
because it was too painful. It represented to me Spandau, and I was really devastated, to see the way it fizzled out for various reasons. But my God, were we a close unit? And then all of a sudden it's gone. And you don't know who you are. I had no confidence, all that kind of stuff. So I explored dance music and, chill out music, got the guitar back, more of a guitarist, I guess, hand in hand with all the other stuff now. But so I went back to that, and I had a lovely time, renting like what's called a tree, which is a mill, one of those old ones where you have to donkey going around years ago. So it's all this like antiquity. And I would sit around this big stone where the donkey would be, where it ground like olives, and the pump was there, massive wooden thing, kept it stored underground in a stable. And I'd sit around this, my sort of technical equipment, and it was this juxtaposition of having this new sort of technology with this 100-year-old stuff that's been there and such a story that's already exists. I loved that, and I missed that in some ways.
It sounded like you needed
to... miss the rats, though. There was a lot of rats running around in that stable.
It sounded like at that time that's what you needed to do.
Yeah.
Was the whole sort of... With Spandau sort of fizzling out, as you put it, was it a mixture of like the post-fame come down, but also like it's a band of mates, really. Isn't it?
It was that more than anything. It was
went
that
to school
more than
together,
anything.
Didn't you?
We went to school together, and making a right balls ache. And you can edit out all those things.
I've made you look like Dot Cotton, just so you know. Just a heads up.
Yes, and it was devastating for me.
Yeah.
But of course, when I was there, I got into what the music was at the time, Spanish music, flamenco and all that stuff. And really, I only had Radio 2 to listen to, because being up in the mountain, and so I missed out on all the Britpop stuff, really.
Okay.
Yeah, I was aware it was going on, and I knew about Oasis and all that, and I loved it, but it wasn't the main stuff I was kind of listening to. It was a mixture. I always like that, mixing it up. Don't choose, just have it all. That's what I say.
And you're
limiting things if you choose one.
Yeah, you seem like someone that's jumped from project to project, and you like to keep on the move and test yourself, different instruments, different people to work with.
Exactly, different genres of music, and different instruments. And I've been like that since I was a kid, I don't have not much patience for focusing on one thing. I never practice. I can't think of anything worse than that, going to work practicing. No, if I need to play, I play. And I think, right, what have I got? Got this coming up. Oh, that's a key that I don't come across very often, seeing as I don't practice. And I just play around with it, but I play. And I listen and I go off, and it's even nothing to do with that. I'm just getting into this new key. I don't read music. I just see the shapes. And, I want to know where it starts, and then where, the shapes of what I play. But even then, you forget sometimes, and you go, "Oh, that's nice. What happens if I go like that? Oh," and off you go. It's unexplored. You're exploring unknown territory every time I step up. Unless you're on a long tour where it becomes a little bit choreographic and by rote, and I'm the only one in Spandau that could float over the top and be spontaneous. You know, the others play the same every night.
So you'd do that? You would be a bit more...
Oh, yeah.
You'd improvise.
Yeah, and I can go
Spandau.
where I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the only one that could sort of float over the top, yeah. It's true.
I'm wondering why as you're drawing me... No, I hinted...
Behind, by the way.
That's all right. I hinted at this in the restaurant, but I said I'd save it for the podcast. It's my group of friends back in Nottingham. I'm from Nottingham originally, and I was in a band in Nottingham, and we were called Sock.
Ah, no.
And don't
it's
laugh.
Okay.
It's a serious band, and we did a gig in Nottingham, and it was reviewed by.
Can you look at me when I'm trying?
Yeah,
to
sure.
Unfair advantage.
We were, while I'm chatting, you can now draw, Stephen, relax. So, we did a gig and it was reviewed in the local newspaper in Nottingham. And the standout line in the review was the singer, i.e. me, looks like Tony Hadley on acid, right? That was the quote, yeah. Because I had a bit of makeup on, but I was wearing a suit, I think, from memory. And I had a jawline back then, much like Tony.
You still have under all that.
Still there,
I'm drawing it now.
Make sure you get that in the drawing.
Yeah.
Anyway, that stuck.
I'll go a bit for you. Yeah.
That stuck with my mates. That they think I look like Tony Hadley. Yeah. So when I said that I'm going to be interviewing you, Steve, they said, well, maybe if Spandau do get back together, but Tony doesn't want to do it.
Yeah.
I'm your man.
I had that the other
That's
day.
not a yes or a no, is it?
No, you just got. I'm really sorry, mate, but you got to join the queue. There's one or two.
There's a lot of Tony Hadleys.
Local choir in their village. You know what I mean?
Because you did have a Tony Hadley replacement, didn't you? Briefly,
we did. Yeah, we can't talk about him, unfortunately.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Yeah. But
anyway, but that it was not working. So, I have to say there was a personal thing with it because no one told me it wasn't working. Never, it was only one or two people, mentioning no names, that kind of made other plans for the rest of the year. I shouldn't probably say this, and it was a horrible position to be in when you've got an empty diary, you've got no work for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Lack of communication is always a big problem in Spandau. And ironic considering we had a hit single called Communication lets me down. You tell me about it.
Says it all.
Yeah.
But I might maybe delve into this bit a bit more. But I want to talk about the good old days, the good times.
That's all I think about now, to be honest with you.
I guess when you look back and you were saying in the restaurant, I know there's been some legal battles along the way, but you're the one member of Spandau that's in touch with all of them, aren't you?
That's right.
You're like the glue that could put it all back together.
Well, no, I don't like that. If people want, like, I don't know, pat on the back for being the instigator, it's always a bit of everyone in some way. I mean, even the other times, I had a part in there, but I'm not looking for any credit in these things. And so I think that's the wrong approach. It's just that's me now. I hang on to not the bitterness because I had to let that go. And I hang on to all the great times we had together.
Yeah.
And so when I do see the others, I've seen Gary within the last 6 days, John last week as well. We go back to when we were getting on. And that's what I love. And life's too short to hang on to that stuff, especially at my age.
It really is.
Yeah. Very important to have mouth.
It's good to hear that. So when it was all taking off, because you recently you actually made a documentary before you got signed, didn't you? Which you kind of went back and sort of watched.
Last week again with John, first time in since it came out, and helped us to get a record deal in the summer of 1980. And I hadn't seen that half-hour show since then. And me, Gary,
was it like
and John
watching that?
Looking behind us going, oh my God, so funny. And the room was there was over 100 people in there.
Similar to this.
In the air. Some of you here. Great to see you again. And he put me off that.
So have you not watched it? Have you not watched it?
I haven't watched it since, no.
Oh, wow.
We've used it for films and whatever. It's still out there, the footage, but not the whole thing in its entirety. And some of the people in it are there. Yeah. Our friends, you know. It was brilliant. It was amazing. It was funny. And everyone, because we're so young, everyone's talking like that in a squeaky voice, you know. We're really young, you know. It's like, everything. Got Robert Elms, you know. He's like, people now have got voices down there. And it was just lovely, full of people that were either interested, were there, or, you know, the Design Museum where it was. And if you've not been to see the Blitz exhibition, the club that shaped the 80s, at the Design Museum in London, Holland Park, Kensington High Street is on. Then I'd say go because there's only a month left. It's been going since September. Okay. I've even got an outfit there, the kilt and all that, you know. Everyone used to say, didn't you lot wear kilts? And I say, no, I was the only one in Spandau Ballet that wore a kilt. And now I can say, and it's on display. But only for the next month.
So you did that documentary back then. When it was 50 years since
we
you guys
were in
found.
Saint-Tropez, right? Steve Dagger got us, our manager, still is, got us a residency for a couple of weeks, in Saint-Tropez, by the port in Le Papagaï Club, the Parrot Club, yeah. And we did 2 shows a night, and we had like one day off, Sunday off. And it, you know, there'd be various people coming along. It was really weird, you know. It wasn't exactly packed out. No one come to see us. It was just something weird from England, I guess. I remember the biggest mistake they said is, oh, yeah, you can have free drinks, whatever you want. And we all looked at each other. We got all our mates with us, you know. It was like 12 of us. Some excuse to go, you know. All in a very small van with all the gear, the equipment, a couple of lights and luggage. How we did that, I don't know. Crossed down to the south of France and we did 2 sets a night. The result of it is that we really tightened up as a band because you're playing all the time. We were doing songs that like on Her Majesty's Secret Service, you know, it's a Bond theme instrumental, or Fun Time from Iggy Pop, you know. All aboard for fun time. But we just bought this synthesizer, which Gary wrote the first 2 singles on, to cut a long story short, and The Freeze inspired him. Okay. We had this synth and had this cut-off thing, and it went... And Gary used to stand there on stage doing that, you know, while I did the guitar. And it all live, you know what I mean? Now it's all on tape, isn't it? But... you know, things like that, brilliant moments, and look at pictures, and I could be one night like looking very dandy-like with ballet slippers. I used to hang my clothes on the wall like they were exhibits, like art, which they were. I thought, no, these are pieces of art. Same outfit, which is now on display at the Design Museum, if you don't mind. Okay. I weren't wrong, you know what I mean? So, and then, you know, there'd be like the first set I'll wear that, and the next one, jackboots with like, you know, stormtrooper vibe. It really was like that. We were in the local paper, and the headline was, you know, who are these people? But it was, ils ont beer or something. They drink beer. That was, you know, we're like, what? And there's pictures of us giving it all that, and they're all terrified, all these locals. We're nice guys.
I mean, from the outside, it seemed like we got signed by... I think we've got about 5 minutes left on the portrait, by the way, Steve. I'll talk while you sketch.
Yeah, I need to get your mouth, but that mic's in the way. Okay, I've got you. Go on.
It seemed like from the outside looking in that things happened really quickly for you. You did the documentary, you got signed by Chrysalis, and then before you know it, it seemed like you had a number 1, and it was all top of the pops.
We got signed because when we got back from Saint-Tropez, Steve Dagger, who was living with his mum at the time, as we were all living with our parents, she said, you've got loads of messages, and there was about 5 messages from the top record companies in the country. 3 months later, we signed a record deal. So it was because they'd seen this on the telly, which was aired when we were in Saint-Tropez. So it was like hugely effective for us, that program, which we did the Q&A for last week, didn't we, my love? Yeah, it was really good. And, yeah.
So you had record companies fighting over you?
Yeah, we just went for the one who offered more money, which is Chrysalis.
As you would. Yeah. And what was the deal at the time? Did it feel like
our own record company, as in a separate sort of kind of label? We had controlled, and any bands had at the time. Put your ear over there, go that way. No, just look at me, but come that way. Just look at me straight like that, and just go like that.
How's that?
That's perfect, thank you. Yeah, that's it. I've got it now.
You got it?
Yeah. I'm just trying to get that bit down.
I've never been asked to pose while interviewing. It's quite nice.
Your face is not as long as it should be, I have to say. I should have done you smiling, but then I'd put a little smile in there.
That's good.
All right, that's not happening, is it?
Do you want a football latest score, Steve? We're both Tottenham fans.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, let's do it.
I've just had a cheeky look at the latest score.
Can you look at me when you do it?
We're approaching half-time.
Yeah.
It is Tottenham Hotspur 1, Crystal Palace 1.
I thought we were going to say nil there. Mind you, that'll give him a little kick, I think.
But we've just had a player sent off.
You're kidding me?
No.
Who?
Van de Ven.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
This is great, isn't it? It's like grandstand.
It's the end, isn't it? It's the end.
It is the end.
Oh, God.
We're going to
We're going to go down.
We're going to go down.
It's outrageous.
Awful.
It's outrageous.
Tottenham are going to be playing.
I'm not sure how to do your beard, mate, with that mic stand. Okay. Look at me straight there, quick. I'll have to get quick on this because I'm running.
Draw me like your French ladies.
Buggered your mouth. No, I'm not happy with this. Oh, hang on. Stay there. Where you were, that's it. Can you just stay like that a sec? No. Like,
keep still.
Yeah, you had a slight smile before. That'll do. As it. Try not to move. Just please, give me 10.
I'm really enjoying this.
Yeah, I know you are. You're really good, I reckon.
I can't retrieve my drawing. It's beyond repair.
No, that's
so apologies, Steve.
Because of the mouth.
It's been nice to sketch with pencil. We haven't done pencil for a while.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done it for over 40 years, did I say? 45 years ago last time I did this. And, right, let me just see how to draw a beard. I've never drawn anyone with a beard before.
It's not real. It's not a real beard.
Can you just do that again, what I said? Like that. No, don't go like that. Just like where you were and just move it. Straight, your head straight. Yeah. Just there for a sec. Here we go. We'll get those little slight jowls you got there. Slight jowls. You've got quite a nice thing going on down there.
Oh, thank you. Steve's flirting with me. Let's have a look.
Right, now I'm going to just come out and do that again for me quickly, and then I reckon if I do that, and then that.
It's turned into a life drawing class, hasn't it, now?
Oh, God, this is not working out at all for me.
How you getting on?
Okay, no, I'm just trying to make up what I can't see there. All right. I think that's not too bad. Now the eyes.
Oh, you haven't done my eyes yet?
No, the last bits.
Okay. Back to Spandau.
Just look at me for 1 sec, right. That's all I need. Yeah, go on. You look like you're out of Captain Scarlet, I'll be honest.
I was going to say I've got greeny brown eyes, but it doesn't matter. It's pencil.
I mean, really, I'm not going to really go. I'm not even going to go anymore on this. I don't think
you
look like cross between Captain Scarlet and and some kind of North Sea fisherman.
We're losing 2-1 now.
It's all over, isn't it? It's all over.
I'm gonna end mine as
me too.
Well, just discreetly.
Do I sign it or what?
No, not yet. We're going to sign the self-portrait. So if you can just take that off, Steve, and then place over there.
I've given you bigger eyes. Is that all right?
That's fine. Make sure the audience can't see it.
Right.
So be discreet, and then you just tear it off, put it next to your pint.
You look like Captain Scarlet. It's funny.
I think that's a good thing, isn't it?
Captain Black, the bad one.
Oh, the bad.
You wait. You see it a bit.
The bad one.
The bad one, yeah.
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah. This is the voice of the Mr. Ons. Oops.
Do you want to? Oh, yeah, I can put that down there. Do you want to try a different medium of art?
No, I don't want to try anything else.
Okay.
We're done, are we?
No, we're going to do a self-portrait now. Yeah.
How am I going to do that without looking at myself?
I can give you.
I can give you my inner visions.
Yeah,
like
give you
Stevie
inner
Wonder.
visions. It was a good point.
No, but seriously, we've got to have a mirror, ain't you? I can't do that.
You've got to do it from
mate.
memory. You've got. Do you want me to give you some clues? You got some glasses on.
Yeah, I know.
You've got beautiful hair, nice eyes.
Bless you, you bastard.
Isn't he? Yeah.
I'll come up with something.
You'll come up with something. It's a good question because Nick Helm, who's behind you, who's the third one down, actually said to me, "I don't know what I look like. I haven't looked in the mirror for a long time." So that was just done from his memory.
Does he look like that?
He does look like that. It's quite a good likeness, Nick. So we're staying on pencil for a self-portrait. So going back to the early days of Spandau, you got signed. It seemed like before you know it, you had a number one. You're on top of the pops. Did it feel like that it was all happening very quickly?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of worked our way through, let's see, because we were a club band. And, you know, we didn't want to always be a club band. It's a very niche market, isn't it? You ain't going to earn much money out of it. And we also, you know, artistically wanted to explore other things because everyone in Spandau having their slightly different preferences of music. Tony is into swing and, you know, the Sinatra thing, and John's metal merchant. Me and Gary are soul boys, really, but then we go and see AC/DC at the Marquee. You know, and
Sex Pistols.
Martin was kind of had a bit of all of them, you know.
Okay, because Sex Pistols was like a big influence. That was your first live gig, wasn't it?
That's what kicked the Sex Pistols. What do you mean? No, that was the.
Was
gig.
that the first band that you saw live?
No, not the first band I saw live.
Okay.
No, it was Slade back in
Slade, was it? Wow.
or something.
Okay.
The Hammersmith Odeon, yeah.
Okay.
I'm a friend with Dom Powell, the drummer.
Yeah.
You know, I've done shows with him. And a show with him, and so I forget what we sort of went through the genres.
Yeah,
didn't want to be a club band.
Yeah,
moved off of the electronica, and sort of just naturally in a way. But I think we also realised that we wanted to be global. We didn't just want to be in a club, and. Me and Gary always listened to sort of Motown and all those kind of things. I used to provide him at school. You know, I'd lend him Stevie Wonder and whatever, probably Marvin Gaye, actually. And he would throw like Little Feat and the American rock stuff at me. And everyone would do that when you're younger, you know, 'cause you can't afford to buy all the records. And so that... Then we went through the second tricky album, Diamond, which is more experimental. I only played percussion. I learned how to play the tablas a little bit. I got a credit on there for tablas. Someone told me off recently, tablas doesn't exist. 1 or 2, it's still called tabla. And I said, yeah, but it's credited. No, it can't be. I had to get the album out. I said, there it is. Because no one else knew that either in the band, you know. But anyway, went through that percussive stage, then went on to the sax course, and that was true. And I got the sax, to be fair. I mean, I know I look back at it now, but within a year of literally seeing the instrument and trying to work it out, within a year I'd recorded the whole of the True album. Wow. Within a year, I mean, it's like I look at that and I think, my God, you just got to realise that that's something you got and keep your feet on the ground. But it's like I look at the sax, I think, how the fuck do you get around this? And I just looked at a tune a day. I bought a tune a day with the sax, and I just looked in the very beginning. It was 2 pictures of this sort of. Looked like a geography teacher, sort of balding from the 50s, black and white, and he's got this alto and he's just standing there. This is how you stand. Really? I've seen it on Top of the Pops, you know what I mean? I want like, You know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. And the next 2 pages was like a diagram of the keys, and highlighted were the keys you need to hold down for certain notes, given that they're tuned different. I always have to work out someone says A, that's my B. But if it's alto, it's another one, and I don't even know what that is. I just sort of work it out and think, right, okay. I think that's it. And have I answered that question?
Beautifully.
What was that?
So succinct. But yeah,
I should start. I've got a blank page.
Yeah, you should. Yeah,
I'm doing me, and I'm going to do
start
this.
your self-portrait.
I'm going to have to make something up here, aren't I?
But True was like huge, wasn't it, for you?
Shit, am I going to do?
In the UK and in America and all over the world. I mean, that was
that was
worldwide, international stardom, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did it feel like that from the inside? Did it feel like this was really blown up?
Well, we knew that. We were going forwards from the first single. That was it. Top 5. To cut long story short, Amanda, no one knows. And anyway, we did well with that, straight in the charts. And, everyone was sort of kind of, who is this? What's this about? And all the clothes we were wearing, of course. Bearing in mind, we were just representing a little movement. Of course, we go on top of the Pops, and then the Blitz became too popular. So we moved on, everyone that was there, not just Spandau. And, what was that question again? I should write them down.
Just talking about True and like that.
Yeah. Did it go mad? So from that point on, the second, we nearly died a death on the second album because it was too experimental, even though we had chant number 1. But that was the direction we should have gone in. We've always sort of established something and then moved on.
Yeah.
And then other people jumped through that door, like chant number 1. We thought we're not going to do the same, full of brass and this. We had one called Paint Me Down after, but it was nowhere near as like in your face as chant number 1. I love chant number 1. Can I swear?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you can bleep it out. But it was, whenever I hear it, and it always seems to me chant number 1, we had danger there, like we did with the first single. It was like boom, 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 boom. And it just, to me, feels like, here we come, who the fuck are you? Get the fucking way. It's got that attitude. And literally people be looking behind, what is this? And they move back. And people have said to me, like, at that point, they were like, what's coming out here? Who's creeping from behind?
Yeah.
We were so tight, and our own little tribe, it was like we could take on the world. So from very early on, we thought we was invincible in that respect, without being big-headed about it. Not at that point. It kind of changed a little bit later in some aspects, but
quite a dramatic change in style of music.
Yeah, that's it.
Who was driving that? Was it because Gary?
We always did. Yeah, well, we used to go out to the clubs together, and we'd hear different music, and Gary would go off and, he'd come up with a song or something. Yeah, it was in that respect.
Yeah.
The initial sort of writing of a song would be from what we do even discuss sometimes. But no, taking no credit away from Gary. Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was very astute like that, always. He always sort of preempted or knew. We all did. We all preempted, what we felt we didn't want to do at the very least, and just explored. But like I say, everyone had different sort of personal things with music that they liked. Styles of music, and it kind of got incorporated into that, whether it's soul, funk, rock, and then of course the more popular you get, your set and your live show, it gets a bit more sort of adapted to your environment. So in here it'd be stripped down, wouldn't it? Then we'd do theatres, and that you're playing to a theatre, so it's a bit more sort of kind of relaxed. Then with the success of True, we got to play arenas. And so you have to fill that place out. It becomes a bit more exciting. Bigger stage is me running around all over the place, and like various instruments, this, that, and the other. I'm in my element like that. I still am. I love it. And then from there, we even played stadiums, 1 or 2 times, Well, there's Live Aid, but in our own right, we played a stadium in Zaragoza in Spain. It was across, it wasn't the whole stadium. But, but you have to fill out that stadium. And that's what you do. So your music evolves to fill the space you're in. All these different sort of external influences as an effect of what drives you to do what you're doing next.
Yeah.
What I don't like is when you do the same thing because it was successful last time around.
Yeah.
I personally, I don't like it. The record company hate it. I'm going to start again. I haven't got very far with that. Started in the wrong place. I'll try and do a quick sketch of
That's
me
fine,
then,
yeah. But I guess when you're that big, it's like, well, do we stick to the winning formula?
Yeah, but that's not really interested anyone.
As musicians, you don't want to do that, do you?
We're artists at the end of the day. Yeah. We're not like showroom dubbies. Or mind you, Kraftwerk have done all right over it.
Good point. You mentioned Live Aid.
It's so funny about Kraftwerk, sorry, but it was one gig and we were on the same bill.
Oh, really?
And I remember walking into the arena and hearing like we are a model and she's looking. Shit, quick, they're sound checking. So I went running into the arena and there was no one on stage. No one. They hadn't even left Germany yet. It was all on tape, of course.
You mentioned Live Aid. We've got to mention that. Like the band's involvement in Band Aid, and whenever that time of year comes up, I love seeing that video of just all these 80s faces just in that room. And so many iconic
incredible
artists.
Yeah.
What was it like?
Oh, it's great. I mean, we went like the day before. All the artists went the day before to Wembley to sound check. And it was so relaxed that day. It was the most hot day ever. And, we knew a lot of the band, so we were really sort of friendly with Queen and Status Quo. And I had a video camera, which I've got loads of footage, and you got Roger going, all right, and maybe like Francis Rossi going like that, But even on stage, they were going through Don't Waste My Time, which was a track off of Pile Driver, because I loved Quo when I was younger at school, and also Queen, of course. And now you got them grinning at the camera because they know me. It's not just any random, It's a different thing. A lot of that's been used on the documentaries you see on the telly without my permission. But no, I'm happy to share it, of course. And in the film, our film Soul Boys of the Western World, which is worth checking out, even if you don't like Spandau. A lot of that footage is mine. And it was just, in that way, it was a real friendly environment before course, what was going to come the day after with thousands, 80-odd thousand or whatever it was there.
Was it true that Bob Geldof, you were the first band to be asked to do it?
I think Bob bumped into Gary on King's Road in an antique shop, which sounds pretty typical.
As you do.
Yeah.
And what? And put the idea.
And just said, I've got this idea. And I don't, Bob would be notorious for saying, oh, yeah, we got Sting, we got Genesis, whatever. And of course, he didn't have anybody. But little by little, we all got convinced. And no one knew the importance of it or even what it was about.
Yeah.
No one had really heard the song. And it's like, what's this we're doing? But even prior to that, it was Band Aid that he was talking about, not Live Aid, which was a year earlier, wasn't it? It was the December earlier. But previous to that, it'd be like, talk about it. What's the song like? And I think Gary or someone might have heard of Midge or something. It's all right, but it wasn't sort of...
Didn't grab you.
It didn't grab them. And, it was only when we got there we realised, but... Unfortunately, the first few hours of that day, I have a hazy recollection of it because the night before we'd done a tour of Japan, so Spandau flew in from Japan, and we went straight to a TV show, not Tommy's Rock Show, but it was a big German TV show, and there was a lot of bands there, including Duran Duran, and we weren't enemies. We just made sure we didn't want to be in the charts at the same time, that trade-off, whatever, that battle, like Blue, Oasis, the Stones and the Beatles. We didn't want to know who was going to come second. We didn't want to know, whatever. But we were great mates, you know. We'd always like, oh, Spandau got to be there. And like, we'd literally be calling it, someone would call like one plane to another, seriously, a normal plane. And someone would come up and say, excuse me, you just got a message from Nick Rhodes. He wants to know what time you're getting there. We had all that. It was so funny.
Wow.
So that night we were in Germany, we got wasted because, you know, even though Spandau are drinkers, we used, everyone's got their vice. They had their vice. Our vice was alcohol, and we used to be able to drink anyone under the table and be proud of it. But anyway, we did. And the next day, everyone turned out, and I remember you can look at footage, and people are blurring and slurring through these early interviews. It was awful. So the first few hours, a little bit of a haze until, you know, you start feeling better, and spent the whole day there, you know, just hearing the track, being in the control room when someone I was out there with everybody, and I think it was Hugh Patcham. I'm trying to think the guy who was producing it now, but he said, "So who's going to sing first?" And everyone took a step back.
That's a lot of pressure.
Like, not me, you know. It was like, not me. Tony, bless him, he's always like, he goes, I'll do it, I don't mind. You know, it's like, he was the first one to go and sing on Do They Know It's Christmas? And, you know, even though it wasn't in that order, he broke the ice.
Okay.
And I remember I was in the control room and Bono was sitting there in his 10-gallon hat, you know, being all, you know, bless him. I never met him, really. I just sort of said hi. He just intimidated me, you know. Under his hat. It was a 10-gallon one, though, and I'm giving it all Cockney. But I remember seeing Tony through there and feeling so proud of him, you know, that he just done that, and on he goes to do it, you know. It was a great day.
It looked, I mean, if you've seen the documentary, if you haven't seen it, it's well worth watching, because it seemed so, you know, Bob was flying by the seat of his pants, I think, and they were trying to get hold of Boy George or something. Boy George.
Well, I remember that. I was in the corridor. It was one of those phones on the wall because he didn't have mobiles back then. And anyway, he's speaking to him, and he goes, "Get your fucking ass over here." And that was it. That's what I remember.
He was in America, wasn't he?
He was in America.
Yeah.
And that's what George had to do, Boy George. So he got on a Concorde. 6 hours later, he's there. No makeup, of course, you know. Probably a little bit grumpy until he turned up. Yeah. But no, that's right. It was Bob. But that was his thing. He was very forceful.
I was going to say, Bob Geldof comes across as quite forceful, is one word. He was very determined to kind of see it through, wasn't he? And that was, and that was the same. So back to Live Aid. Obviously, you guys played. Did you have a hint of how that day was going to go? And I mean, Queen are often talked about as
that we only knew that when I was watching them.
Did you get to witness that?
Yeah, I think we left by then. I remember watching it from the Embassy Club, I think it was, with a bunch of others, because we got out before the end, drove back to London and went to a club, and it was still being filmed. So, and like, it was like, everyone was like, fuck, because we'd forgotten how great they are, you know. And that really did sort of, not, I won't say relaunch her career, but it certainly went, hang on a minute, this is what it's all about. No one knew how to play festivals as much as Queen did. I mean, Spandau famously, we had 3 songs. We did Only When You Leave, True, and Virgin. Can you sing Virgin?
No.
But why didn't we do Gold?
Yeah, why?
Because that Virgin was our latest single. You wouldn't do it now. It's like,
you did the hits,
you wouldn't do that out of just pure diplomacy.
No, you did something anthemic. That was what was. That's what Queen brought, wasn't it? There was all the anthems, and it was such an amazing day. And any interesting? I mean, you left early, but I can you remember?
I remember coming, staying there, because all the bands, a lot of the bands that were there that have been in London came back to this Embassy Club. Okay. And George Michael came back. he done Don't Let the Sun Go Down on Me. It was that one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With Elton John, right?
Yeah.
He said, what was it like? What was it like? He was so like nervous. He
Wasn't sure how it went.
Yeah, how did it go?
Wow.
How was it? I said, George, for fuck's sake. It was brilliant. You owned it with the person who owns it, you know. It was like, but he wasn't insecure, but it's just that everyone needs a bit of reassurance, and he needed it at night. I mean, looking back on it, it's iconic, that thing he did with Elton John,
massively.
wasn't it?
But also, I guess you're amongst peers, and there's a bit of extra pressure. What I was going to say is one of my favourite stories from that time was I was friends with Annabelle Giles. Who,
I remember Annabelle.
Yeah, she was the wife of Midge, and sadly passed away fairly recently, but she lived in Brighton for many years. Right? Yeah, she was a lovely lady, good friend of mine. And she told me this story that she was there that day, obviously, with Midge. And she told me this amazing story. I said, so how did your day go? She said, I really enjoyed all the bands, but I do regret not going to... So after Queen came off stage, Freddie Mercury invited her to his house party, and she said she was too tired. Yeah. I was like, you idiot. How could you possibly pass upon that?
I went to several of Queen's parties.
Did you?
Freddie's, yeah. And I've been told at two of them I was in the corner sleeping. Really? I don't remember. Probably because I was asleep.
Yeah. They had a bit of a reputation of being quite notorious, Freddie's parties and Queen's parties.
Yeah, it was funny. But we used to see him in Munich, because we used to record in the same studio.
Okay.
And we did 2 albums there, I believe. And they were always turning up. And even in London, we'd go out and meet him for dinner. Freddie never, because he had other places he would rather go to. And it was really Brian. John was there initially, but then he became more private, didn't he? He left the band eventually. But Roger and Brian, always really nice guys, down to earth. Still are, I haven't seen him for a while, but no, great. We used to love that.
So we're about 5-10 minutes we've got left, right. Steve. I'm just I can give you it's half time in the football. It's now 3-1 to Crystal Palace.
Christ.
We are getting demolished. I'm surprised by the audience reaction. I thought they'd be really bored about football, but they seem invested. So thank you for that. So in terms of what you're up to now, Steve, I mean, you're all over the place, gigging all over you've got your own band.
I've got my own band. I've got various sort of things, really. I've got the 80s Pioneers, which is a collective of, people I know. I put on Festival in a Box for the bigger gigs, really. Festival in a Box, so it's a band that I rehearse and MD and get them all together. And then the various artists come in and perform an hour and a half, 15 minutes each, just your hits. First one we did was in Germany, in Berlin, just before COVID hit, which kind of really put the kibosh on it a bit, to be fair. The budgets weren't there afterwards. And, but I had the first gig, there was myself with Spandau, representing Spandau, Nick Van Eed, Cutting Crew, Carol Decker of T'Pau, Paul Young, Lamal, and Mark Armand, all in an hour and a half.
Wow.
And, I put the whole thing on and, MDing it on stage as well and playing with all of them. Yeah. Whatever it is. But it's their spotlight until I move over for my tunes,
Yeah. Sounds
which
great.
Which is Spandau at the time.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, and your band, The Sleeves. So what kind of music's that?
Well, it's evolving. I mean, there's a slightly a different change up to the lineup now because people get busy. So for the last 10 years, it's been a similar lineup, and it's, I guess, based around the percussion of Joe, who's our percussion player, and that's always been a focal point because me and him have a battle of the bongos, as we call it, or as I call it. But it's now, I've got a very good German pianist, so I want to bring that more sort of stripped down in a way, but still have it fully blown, But I just want to explore it's a bit weird because I don't know if anyone's got a Spandau album called Once More. And I was sort of thinking, well, you know, what are we going to do with these tunes? And now I realise I've already done it with Spandau a few years back. You know, we stripped all the tunes down.
Yeah.
So it's become a bit of a template to start off from. It's not a blank canvas. And I said to the others, look, just check out the tunes, see where that goes. To cut a long story short, I haven't listened to it since then. It's like, oh my God, it sounds like another band if Tony weren't singing on it, you know? So I'm really excited about exploring that. And I'm off early tomorrow to Frankfurt just for the weekend. And it'll be our first sort of kind of brainstorming with a bit of playing and whatever. Take it from there. You know, I like the not knowing very much, spontaneity about things. And you know as soon as something happens, you know, if you want to go there or whatever. And if you don't, it sparks something else on. You just got to give it a go. Set the ball in motion.
Well, yeah, as we said earlier, you could go to any gig in Brighton and this fella might just pop up, play sax, and then go home again just to get in. So which is lovely. It's lovely to see that. And you've been down this neck of the woods for a while now, haven't you? 10 years or so in Brighton.
You know what? I've done this fairly quickly. I'm not going to muck around.
Yeah, that's all right.
Just leave it at that.
Yeah, we're getting towards the end, Steve.
All right, I'm done with it. It's getting on my nerves.
It's all penciled out. I mean, I finished too, so we could do a reveal. Do
we have a reveal?
Yeah. So let's go with the portraits of each other.
Let me show you. Show me yours, and I'll show you mine. He definitely looks like Captain Black. Captain Black.
Look at that. That is
Captain Black.
I tell you what. That is a very good likeness.
Is it?
That is excellent.
Oh, okay. As long as you're happy, mate.
I'm not just saying it, but I think that is probably the best likeness.
Say any of that.
That's the best likeness I've had of me.
It's just
so here's my Steve Norman stroke Doc Cotton. What?
Baggy eyes.
I'm not sure what happened there. As I said, I focus more on the conversation than the art, so
that's great, though.
It's all right, isn't it? I got the tint of the glasses.
Yeah.
The sort of sultry eyes. Wasn't sure about the hair, but anyway.
Tired eyes, you mean?
Should we do the self-portrait? You ready for yours, Steve? Do you want to reveal
I just
yours?
did a quick sketch.
Oh, look at that! Yes, of course.
There's no way I could do anything else.
You're very humble with your art. That's me. I've
looks like me.
Aged myself. Steve, it's been such a pleasure talking to you. We have come to the end, and it feels like we could talk for hours because you've done so much. And it's just been a pleasure spending time with you.
Yeah, well, maybe we can have a catch up in a little while down the line.
That would be good. We could do a part 2, couldn't we? Yeah, let's give it up for Steve Norman, everyone. This podcast is sponsored by Salt Magazine, Guest House Hotels, and Sabai Thai Restaurant. Thai chefs using traditional Thai recipes and sourcing local Thai ingredients for the best Thai in town. Salt Magazine helps premium lifestyle brands in the south of the UK reach a culturally curious audience through curated storytelling and media experiences. Salt Magazine, where people, places and brands shape modern lifestyle. And don't forget, you can see all the artwork and find out about future shows by following our Instagram, The Portrait Guy Podcast.